Hey, what's up, fellas and monsters, female fans? Steve-alicious here, back with the Pixel 6. But before we get to all that, thank you so much to all the new subscribers, now up over 6,700 as of the taping of this video. If you're loving all the tech, old and new, go ahead and give that subscribe button a tussle. It certainly means a lot to me. And unlike the videos that I have had on the channel recently about the Pixel 6, this one is going to be positive because it certainly isn't all bad. And they did one major thing right. I'm not talking about the build quality or the Pixel feature set, which is the now playing, the speech to text, all the cool call features that they have, all the rest of it. There's one big macro, big picture thing that they did and prioritized that I think should be a trend going forward. And basically the reason why I wanted to get into this today is the reports coming out that the Snapdragon Gen 8 Mark 1, 2 Delta, whatever they're calling it, actually is worse, coming in worse on the devices so far it's in than the Snapdragon 888 when it comes to thermals. I don't know how that's possible. They had a year to prioritize getting those thermals in line, and they didn't do it. Somehow, with the performance per watt is worse for the Snapdragon Gen 8 Mark 1, which is going to be in the OnePlus 10 Pro, your Samsung S22 Ultra. The big phones of the year are going to be featuring this chipset. And the reason why it's a problem, the reason why thermals are an issue, besides just being hot to the touch on the device itself, is battery life. If you're getting awful performance per watt, and this thing's heating up and throttling itself, well, performance is going to go down because of that. But you're going to get bad battery life. And as we saw with the Snapdragon 888, and you can blame some of that on Android 11, but it's not all Android 11, especially when the thing's heating up like that. You can fry an egg on some of those devices. That's going to be an issue. So I appreciate what Google did, stepping back from that, saying, hey, how many cores do you really need running at 110%? You need 17 cores for that cat video on TikTok. Let's talk about TikTok for just a moment, okay? I just need 1 second. If you're in the United States or Canada in the 90s, early 2000s, you know those Sarah McLachlan video commercials where she had the sad dogs and the song asking for the donations and all the rest of it? That's basically TikTok for me now. Every other scroll is a cat with a sad face and it says, please don't scroll, you'll never see me again, or please watch twice so I can afford to live. Man, I'm just out here trying to decompress and you hit me with all the feels. I can't even go on there anymore. What were we talking about? The cores. Okay, so you need 17 cores for that? No. So Google recognized that. They said, look, we're going to make our own chip. We're going to get the advantages that we can get in there by putting the camera-specific stuff and all the security stuff that we like to put in there. That's all well and good. That's fine. But the big benefit to the user experience is that we could provide near flagship experience, but give you back all that battery life that you had been sacrificing with those Snapdragon products. And we really overestimate how much power that we actually need in these devices to get a flagship level experience. I'm testing the Samsung Galaxy S9 from 2018. We're going to do one of those Amazon renewed videos because it's dirt cheap. I think like $150. The Snapdragon 845 in that has lost a single step, a beat when it comes to doing 95% of the stuff that you're going to want to do in a phone on an operating system. That's it. So when Google came out and said, well, we're going to disconnect ourselves from that rat race. We're going to say, hold on now. We don't necessarily need to give you this level of power. We can deliver flagship-esque performance, but hand you back that hour, 2 hours. Some people getting a heck of a lot more when it comes to screen on time, which to me is more important. Do I want Asphalt 9 running those 1 or 2 frames faster or refreshing a little bit more? Or do I want that extra hour of battery life? Me, I'm taking the extra hour of battery life, screen on time. Do I want that app opening that 100th of a second faster, or those cores running, the third core, so that image is going to process 1,000th of a second faster? Or do I want 90 more minutes to screen on time? So bravo to Google for making that tough decision, because you can get hit on specs. You could say, well, a lot of people will say Tensor is right up there with the rest of them, and it sort of is. It doesn't sacrifice a whole heck of a lot, but what you get back in return is worth a lot more than what you give up for the latest and greatest. If you're into computer graphics, what is it like when they talk about those GeForce, the difference between the 3090 and the 3080 and the Titan version, all the rest of it? You're talking frames. Frames. Less than 10%. Some of them are 3% difference for a lot more money. And in here, you're getting that small performance bump for a big cost to your battery life. So I wish more manufacturers would say, because battery life is a big part of the user experience. And I think more phones and more manufacturers would do well by the consumer to take a step back and say, hold on now. If Snapdragon can't make a quality processor that could keep it under a million degrees so the thing could operate efficiently, so we could have decent battery life on this, why don't we take a step back and say, come up with a custom solution, come up with our own silicon, whatever we got to do, or use an older one, use a sub one, whatever has to happen. You can save a couple bucks on the cost of the chip. Pass that on to the consumer, because we don't need that much power all the time. That's what OnePlus got in trouble with. They were basically nerfing cores. If you were scrolling Twitter, they're like, well, you don't need all the cores running at 100% to scroll Twitter that little bit second faster. So I wish that on the hardware level, not necessarily the software level, but on the hardware level like Google did, more manufacturers prioritize battery life. So as much of a hard time as we give the Pixel devices this year because of what happened with them, and rightfully so, the software stuff and all the rest of it and all the problems that people had, that was one big decision that they made that I think they nailed, and I wish more people would do the same. When it comes to battery life, get that power down a little bit. We don't need all that power. Chips from 3 years ago are still running perfectly fine. Dial it back just that little bit, percentage points, but give us back all of that screen on time. I think you're going to like it in the end. Even though at first you're like, oh, my benchmarks. You don't care. For 99% of the stuff that you're going to do on a phone on a daily basis, the 90 minutes of extra screen on time are going to be worth a heck of a lot more than that extra 1% of performance. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.